great day. Wonderful to be back here with all leaders and change makers. We have well-being in order to effectively nonviolence, compassion, and vision in our communities and organizations. A quote from today's as we are ready to kick the Coffee with Rhonda Show, I hope I'm ready to lead above the grind. Hello, everyone tuning into today's episode. Excited to be back with all of you. Episode of season 7 of the exciting at how far we've come, able to connect and just have an amazing guest to the coffee table. So if you're out there, Coffee with Rhonda Show is your cup full of wit for today's savvy day. We're going to talk a little bit meeting with purpose. And so as we get started on our show introductions, I have a couple of asks for all out there and you're watching. Don't forget to tell us where you are. Tell us what you have as we get started today. Number 2, so I promise you there will be something that someone else needs to hear. Familiar faces already out there for joining. We'll get to you all and say hello. So as we get started, my name is Rhonda Show, and I am also a recovering stressed out leader of leadership above the grind, mentoring and we help leaders to really in that place as we're going to talk about today, to get up above the grind so that they serve, rise, and show. If you want more information on the work that we do at Leadership Above the Grind and leadershipabovethegrind.net. So we're going to do our introductions. So we are using a new platform, and this is all getting used to it. So please extend us if there's any kind of weird, quirky, technical issue you don't normally see. So hello and welcome back to our Mireille. Hi there. Great to see you.
Hello.
We are fantastic.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. It's such a pleasure to be back after a long break. So really excited to be back here for the Coffee with Rhonda.
Yeah. About you, and don't do like I did and forget to back up a second. I have my cup. I have Ecuadorian coffee, Ecuador. I picked up some wonderful Ecuadorian coffee in my cup today. So, Mireille, you have in your cup.
So I have coffee today because I need to stay awake. I have to pick up my daughter. She went out, and so I have to drink coffee to stay awake. So I have coffee in my cup.
Wonderful. So, do you want to just quickly introduce you?
Really have problem with my connection.
We'll come back to you, Mireille, and let you do. Hey, how are you? Welcome to have you here.
Michael's written to you something. Your friend Michael.
Yes, I'll get to that in just a second. Introduce yourself. I want you to tell everybody the amazing work that you do in the world, and then.
Yes, my name is Mandar. I usually am based in Los Angeles, but I have also lived in Houston for almost 17 years. But currently, I am in Mumbai, in India. Since the last 2 years, I came here to be with my parents during the pandemic to support them. And I think the only good thing of the pandemic is the whole world is online, so you can be anywhere and do your work. So here I am having an evening coffee with my friend Rhonda, who I'm very inspired by. I met her online last year, and yeah, I love the work she's doing to spread positive leadership.
Wonderful. Mandar, you. So just give us a brief overview.
Brief overview of me and my work. Well, I'm a petroleum engineer, but I'm nothing to do with petroleum engineering nowadays. Um, I work with leaders and change makers to look into specific challenges related to violence in their communities. And we co create solutions that actively promote peace and non-violence and mental well being and compassion. Uh, because violence has reached a level where it doesn't affect our skin color, it doesn't see our bank balance, it doesn't see our social or political views. It can happen anywhere, it can happen anytime. And sadly, after it happens, then we put flowers and candles and we hugs and we say, oh, it should not have happened. So that is what my key moment of truth was a few years ago, that we all have compassion in our hearts, but we somehow wait for an act of violence for it to be expressed. So that was where I challenged myself, like, when we look at a mass shooting, for example, but it could be any other type of violence as well, like, a suicide or a homicide or a domestic abuse in your neighborhood, and you hear it, but we have become so immune to it. We hear so often that we have become immune to it. So I felt like until it happens to me, I may not do anything about it. And that woke me up, like, what am I waiting for? So that's what got me going 6 years ago. And yeah, I'm in the peace rabbit hole, as they say.
Thank you so much, Mandar, for introducing the work that you do in the world to promote amazing. I absolutely love that work. So let's get into our conversation with peace and purpose. Before we do, hello to some people. Hello, Regina. Thank you for being here for season 7. She's some slight technical challenges, but we've had them ourselves this morning. We actually has of it. So, and then we are there. Hello, Michael. Always great to see you joining us. See, I believe this is happy Saturday, beautiful. She says, and Stephanie, mom is out there as well, waiting here with blue raspberry juice of lemon. Honestly, mom has them all the time. So thank you so much for tuning in. So conversation started, and it's clear, but Rhonda, you're breaking up my connection. Oh, great. So let's see and fix my audio a bit. I'm here on the fly with this new system. It works out. Okay, I've switched my. All hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, is that Mireille?
Still
It's breaking.
Huh.
breaking up.
That is interesting. Well, that. I agree with Michael. Hey, Dale. I've got to figure out what's going on. One more thing. We're gonna make one. Let's see if that helps us. Technology, new platform. It's okay. Testing. Can you all hear me? Huh. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I our discussion going, and then I'm going out and maybe come back in and see if that will help. That is very odd. Okay, I'm not. All right, so let's get us started. Mandar, as we get started, would you? And I'm going a little bit about what does it mean purpose.
Yeah, I can maybe talk, and I can say that if there is a button there called need help, so just while I'm talking, you can ask for help from technical support, and they can help you.
We'll do. See if that helps.
It's just an example of what leadership is about. Like challenges like this show up, and we get perturbed. And we get perturbed because we have a lot going on. And we have a lot going on when we want to be perfect. But we don't take life as it comes. So that is where leadership today cannot get perturbed. Because if you get perturbed, if you get frustrated, if you get angry, your judgments are clouded. The purpose of why you became a leader, why you became a nurse, why you became a teacher, why you became a police officer goes in the background. And that frustration, that anger, that whatever negative emotion clouds your experience of the world. And so that is what we have to be watchful about. Like there is turbulence in the world, there is chaos in the world, but is it affecting your inner world? Is it affecting you? That is our responsibility. As a leader, we have to take that responsibility, that I'm not going to let the chaos affect me. For example, now as I'm speaking, there's somebody at the door. I could get frustrated, but now I have to smile like Mireille is. I have to go and see who's at the door. So just give me 30 seconds.
So Rhonda is back. It's just a nice transition. And I don't remember the question, but Mandar, about the turbulent time we are in, and a lot of people talk about the VUCA leadership, which is leading when everything is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And for any leader right now, it is important to be able to lead in that kind of world, because things are changing all the time. And we have to deal with different situations, and really be ready to manage that. So a lot of it is really still a challenge. Whatever we used to do as leaders when things where, we could plan and we could do things, it doesn't apply anymore. It's a new world, it's a new reality. And as leader, we have to be flexible and start to really adapt to this new, what people call VUCA world now.
VUCA world, yes, absolutely, yes, yes, absolutely, yes. Like, for example, these days I teach meditation practices to people who need it the most, like survivors of violence, parents who have gone through, a mass shooting in their school, child school, or
Mhm,
uh, former gang members who have been incarcerated for 20, 30, 40 years. So when I teach such people, what I realize is that at the spur of the moment, an emotion comes and you act on it, and later on you will repent, like, oh my God, what did I do? Right? And those moments, you can even label them the oh shit moments, right? Oh crap, like, oh, what happened?
mhm,
Why did I do it? I think that is where we have to work on ourselves. Like, leadership is not just leading others. That's just one
mhm,
piece of the puzzle. But today, if you are a leader who is not graceful, is not compassionate, is not loving, is not caring, then nobody will want to work with you. They don't have to work
mhm,
with you. So if you are working in a team, then you have to remind yourself why you became a leader, why you became a nurse, why you became a police officer every day. Just like we brush our teeth every day. For dental
mhm,
hygiene, we don't get much joy out of this, right? When you brush your teeth in the morning, do you feel, wow, man, I brushed my teeth, right? It's become such a regular routine, like blah, 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 blah. So for dental hygiene, we invest 5 minutes a day. But for mental hygiene, we don't do much.
mhm,
And in fact, that is where the missing link is. The missing link between a good leader and an awesome leader is, are you leading with that inner peace and inner calmness so that the external world is not affecting you? You are in control of your emotions.
mhm,
And sadly, that is not part of any educational system. Like when I was in the engineering education, or even at the workplace, leadership development programs, it's all about how do you get the results, how do you improve your processes, but it never asks you, how are you? Are you okay? How are you managing all the chaos in the world? Right? So I think
mhm,
that is what the pandemic has really opened the door for us to have those conversations. Because today, like I was telling a police chief few weeks ago, that, sir, don't wait for the police officer to come to you and say, chief, I'm having a mental health issue. They won't do it. Same is
mhm,
true for a nurse. Like, I think, Rhonda, your background is nursing, isn't it? They are serving the anybody who comes. They are not looking at skin color or what's your bank balance, right? Then the nurse is serving. How much time is the nurse serving herself or himself? Not much, because as a change maker, as a leader, you are serving other people. So that is my gentle reminder to, through you, to anybody who is listening, that we have to learn how to lead with peace and then reconnect with our purpose every day. you know
Quick question for you. So as we talk, I want to back up a second because I accurate. And first, I want to go to a couple of much for the technical advice. Who here, and I'm I'm for us. Mireille, manage it by yourself, and really have to play in terms of link is incredibly important. We have Dale who said, Mandar, I gotta get rid of this on my screen. It's interesting. You have simplified what emotional intelligence has tended to make our emotions through mental hygiene. I ask a quick question, and Mandar and Maria,
mhm,
this. What gets in our way? This is all there's a lot makes sense. However, 65% of people are disengaged. Really disengaged. They're tuned out. They like their bosses. So what get a really showing up with this piece in person first, and then I'll circle back around.
So just trying to get what you said, because it was still breaking up. I think the first thing, and Michael mentioned it in the in one of the comments, is to understand that this whole process starts with us. We have to be able to lead ourselves and believe in ourselves, because I think there's a lot of doubt, that we have, when we lead, especially when there are, disturbance, when there is complexity, we tend to, become fearful. And with fear comes, the lack of confidence. And it translates into how we lead, it translates into how we interact with people, and it translates into, the result, of whatever we do. And it is important that we go back to the drawing board, which is, going back inside, understand, like, Mender was explaining, what is our purpose, what the big picture, because as we get lost into the fear, we get lost into the uncertainty, and it becomes very difficult to become a leader. So really have peace with ourselves, make peace with ourselves first, before we can, go out and then say that we're going to lead people, because otherwise it's just very, very difficult to be an effective leader.
Mandar, would you please add on to that?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with Mireille. Is that how I pronounce your name?
Yes, that's Mireille, yes.
So I want to just, the Dale Waxman, I think his comment really reminded me of a few years ago when I was still working at a small oil company called Shell. And somebody introduced me to this big fat book called Emotional Intelligence. And I was just reading through it. And in the first 2-3 pages, I just shut the book out. What? It's so simple. Like, emotional intelligence is two things. One, are you aware of what emotions are triggered with certain events and people around you? Second is, do you know how to manage those emotions so that you're not a slave of the emotion?
Mm-hmm.
So that would say emotional intelligence. And then the next term is social intelligence, which is if you are leading other people, right? And that could be a team, that could be a non-profit organization, that could be any, a group, doesn't have to be direct report, it could be indirect. Then you need to know two more things. One, what invokes emotions, especially negative emotions, in the people around you,
Mm-hmm.
and do you know how to let them know, or you know how to manage so that you don't get affected by their negative emotion, right? So emotional intelligence for me is your emotions. Are you aware of the emotions, and are you able to manage your emotions? Social intelligence is applying that same for the other person, right? So that's where Dale Waxman's remark was reminded me of a decade ago, where I just closed the book, I just meditated on it, and I said, it's so simple. So today leadership, we think that we need a title to be a leader, but that's a joke, right? Anybody who's caring for parents at home, it's a leadership quality. You're caring those who cared for you. Right? So it's a leadership quality. And so today you don't need a label to be a leader. We are all leaders. And we better realize that we are leaders. Nobody is going to come and solve the problems in the world. We have to take ownership of the challenges on the planet. And forget the planet. Look at your own organization and your own community where we live. And then expand that circle as your consciousness will rise. Like Rhonda, she's all over the world now with her podcast, right? So uh, she's making so many people inspired. She's not just in her own town; she's everywhere. So that's the potential of leadership. Is you can take ownership for problems. But
One of the
if you do this, if you do
hear me?
this without ownership of your own mental well-being, then either you will burn out or you will hurt other people through your words or through your actions.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's breaking still, but we can hear you.
So they're trying to help me with my audio for the technical difficulties. I'm going to let you all respond to it. World is leader. Doesn't matter if it's the Middle East. Doesn't matter if it's South. Most of the leaders challenges. So people say to me around me, what do you mean with all of this? So Mireille maintained peace in the midst of chaos.
So your question was, how do I maintain peace in the midst of chaos? Is it? If I got it right. Yes. So
yes.
It's really what we've been talking about. You have to know yourself, and know your emotions, how you react, and what are the triggers that push you to show a certain type of emotion. Because until you can manage your own emotion, until you can really identify those triggers, it is very difficult. It is very difficult because when it's going out of control. So it is really about stepping back. I think the way I do it. When I'm in front of a chaotic situation, it's really stepping back and really listening to myself and try to manage the emotion that are coming out before reacting. And the second step is really looking at the positive into this chaos, because there's always something positive. What is the situation teaching? What is this chaos teaching you? And really focus on that, because otherwise it can be really wild. And those are the two things that I think are really helpful. Understand your emotion, understand the triggers, and be ready to manage those triggers and bring the right emotion on the table, and identify something positive and understand what is the learning, what am I learning from there, what is this can I do to really manage and continue to go through without thinking about all the catastrophe and all the negativity that is around the chaos. So those are two key things that are very important as a leader, and as a leader, either professionally or even in your own household.
Wonderful. I'm going to switch browsers because that's the switch shift browser. So I'll try to do that with Stream. I'll allow you and Mandar to keep going, but get to your greatness minute, because it really aligns very nicely with let's do your greatness minute first. And then with Mandar, I want you to talk to us a little bit. Yes, leading with peace and purpose, we by extension to gain that same peace and purpose to that after the greatness minute, and then me time to leave the stage and switch browsers.
Hello everyone. This is Mireille, the Greatness Engineer, with you today. Today, I want to talk about the 3R in greatness. So what are the 3R? The 3R are first, redirect, second, redefine, third, renew. So what am I talking about all of this? It's just because sometimes when we pursue greatness, we reach a point where we are completely flat out, where there's a breakdown, and things can be very difficult. And it's the time to just stop and start to see how we can redirect our energy to create more positivity and create positive value into our life. And when we've done that, it's important to redefine our goals, redefine our, the different objectives that we have. And then we can renew ourselves. So become a new person, start a new path, start a new journey. And sometimes it can be very radical, or just, changing few things so that we can get back to being the best, the best that we can be, to continue our journey to greatness. So that's all I have for you today. See you next time.
Thank you so much, Mireille. So I thought that message was for us on what we were just talking about really grounding that sense of peace. So Mandar, how do we really step into that space? Their purpose is so that they can connect.
Yeah, Rhonda, your voice is still breaking up, but I can pick up from where Mireille left. I'm sharing my screen. Is that visible to you?
Yeah, we can see the screen.
So I'll just give a little framework to the work that we do. As human beings, we have 7 levels of our existence. Our body is just a gross layer. We can touch it. The other layers, we can only feel them. Second layer is our breath. We take it for granted, but it's a level of our existence. We are because we are breathing. The next level of our existence is our mind. So nobody has seen the mind, but we can feel our mind, where emotions come, thoughts come. We go in the past, we go in the future. That's the level of the mind. The next level of our existence is our intellect. I'm speaking to you now. There is a faculty in you that is agreeing with what I'm saying, or it may be disagreeing to what I'm saying. This is our intellect. So I'm saying something, you are saying yes, 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 Mandar is right, no, 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 how can it be? This conversation that is happening in your own consciousness is with the intellect. The sharper the intellect, the better choices you will make in your life. The next level of our existence is our memory. We remember certain things, we forget certain things. Sharper the memory, sharper your decision making. Yeah? The next level of our existence is our ego. Most people think ego means to show how smart you are, how confident you are. That's not our ego. Our ego is a feeling that I am separate from other people. Either I am so good that other people are idiots, or I am no good, other people are better than me. So ego is a part of our existence, and that is where self-confidence, your self-esteem comes from. So it's a very important aspect of our existence. But when it gets to seeing a difference between me and other people around me, either, like I said, I'm better than them, they are idiots, or I'm no good, they are better than me. That, you can say, is our ego. And the final level of our existence is our own self, the witness, you can say, the cornerstone of our existence. So now, just going a little deeper, why we need to lead with peace and purpose. If you want to, then this is the framework that we teach. That These are the levels of our existence that we need to learn how to manage. Nobody else can do it for you. For example, uh, your level of your mind. Some of you may have learned how to overcome stress and anxiety and fear and smile like Rhonda, be calm and centered and energized. But other people may not have any exposure to how to manage your emotions, how to manage your stress. They just haven't learned it. Nobody taught them. Second level is intellect. We judge all the time. Some people judge all the time, and that is what leads to bias, inhibitions, fears, unfounded. Somebody might say, Indian food is not good, it's very spicy, I don't like it. And dude, have you tried it? I have never tried it. Then how are you judging it? So this is what a leader can get into a trap, right? So we are judging all the time. That doesn't help you. But some leaders may accommodate imperfection. They may be non-judgmental. They have learned this life skill. Don't judge until you prove, until you see something for yourself. The third level is our memory. And this is very important for a leader or a risk taker, because if you make a mistake, your memory is going to remember the failure. When you go for your year end review with your boss, you have forgotten your failures, your boss remembers your failures. So if you have not learned how to let go of the negativity, the failure, then you will not be taking risk. And we know many people who don't take risk, right? They are just like old school. And you are sitting here and you're saying, what's wrong with this person? Why don't we try something new? Dude, that person doesn't know how to manage his memory layer. He is stuck. And the
Mm.
final level is very clear, ego. Some people operate from this level of ego, arrogance. I know it all. I am not good enough. They are stuck. But maybe you have learned through life lessons, maybe turbulence, maybe COVID. You have learned that, oh my God, I better be humble. Life is short. I can learn from anybody. So that is what, we now need some tools to manage this inner world.
So,
Nobody can
Mandar,
do it.
let me just ask for a minute, because that was a lot that you shared. And I want people to really be able to digest sort of those levels that you took us through. But on the previous one, you also had breath. And I know that you do a lot of breath work. So I really would love for you to take us on an exercise. So for everyone out there, if you've got a comment, please jot that in jot it in the comments. What are your reactions to what Mandar is sharing with us? And I hope my audio is better. Thank you so much. I appreciate technical support for helping me on the fly figure that whole thing out. But what I know about Mandar is he does some amazing breath work, and breath work is so central to us being able to manage those emotions, as we talked about. So it doesn't have to be overly complicated, right? We can figure out tools and strategies to do that. So, Mandar, would you be willing to do a quick breath exercise with us? And everyone out there, if you're participating, I invite you to just take a moment, stop what you're doing, pause, and let's go through a quick breath exercise together if Mandar is so inclined to share with us.
I will. I just know and may assume that there are some engineers in your audience, and they always, like me, want to know what the hell are we doing and why are we doing it. So I'll just present one slide to make the engineering mind go calm. Okay, so I'll just bear with
Yes,
me.
yes,
Yeah.
please. We don't want to have any engineer minds going crazy like Mireille's, right? We have an
Yeah.
engineer right here with us, so that's
Can you
awesome.
share? Can you see my screen?
I can share it. One sec. There
No,
we
can
go.
you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
So this is the fundamental science of our life, the science of our breath. What is it? There are many situations in our life, whether it's a positive situation or a negative situation. It produces emotions. A positive situation produces positive emotions. Negative situation produces negative emotions. And that is where we get stuck, right? Oh, I'm angry. I'm so angry. This guy made me angry today. Or I'm sad. I don't have a job. or whatever, I'm feeling low because I don't know what to do in my life. This world is so violent. Or it could be a positive emotion, like I feel so good, I met and played with my grandkids today. So whatever the situation, we get emotions, positive or negative. But the science is that every emotion is associated with a breathing pattern of its own. Like when you are angry, there is a specific breathing pattern. When you are sad, we sigh, right? So now imagine when you are happy, you breathe from your navel and a smile shows up. So this is the science. It's universal. Doesn't matter whether you are Indian, Chinese, Russian, man, woman, doesn't matter. And the reverse is also true. Using the breath, you can empower yourself to manage your own emotions. And that can be a game changer for certain people. We take it for granted, but for certain people, you cannot say, Rhonda, calm down. It will pass. But how do you calm this mind down, right? So that is where the breath becomes a tool. Does that make sense, Mireille? Okay, so now she will breathe.
It makes sense. As an engineer now, I'm happy and comfortable, so we can do the exercise.
Yeah. So what is the first act of our life, Mireille? First
breathing.
We breathe in. And
Yeah.
what is the second act of our life, Mireille?
We think it's the breathing bring the emotion, so it goes to the brain.
Second act of our life is crying.
Oh, okay.
And in India, and I'm sure in Africa also, the baby is pinched until it cries. Hey, cry. So first act is breathing in, second act is
definitely.
crying. And what is the last act of our life? What's the last act of our life? Everybody's life. What will we do? We will breathe out. That's it. Story is over. And hopefully other people will cry. You can look back. Dude, nobody's crying. Yeah, so between the first breath and the last breath, we take our breath for granted. So now when I'm teaching you these exercises, you feel honored. You feel grateful for your own breath. We are taking it for granted. We say, hey, see you tomorrow. And there is no tomorrow. We don't know. Right? So now first exercise we will do is very simple, but it will help anybody who is having trouble falling asleep at night. Yeah. So this exercise will help you. So put your right palm on your chest and your left palm on your belly and sit straight. And left palm on your belly, on your stomach, navel.
Stomach.
Yeah. Okay. And now consciously breathe in and out. Don't force it. At the same time, don't use shallow breath also, right? So breathe in, expand your belly fully. I can't see your belly, so don't be shy.
We're thankful for small things, Mandar.
Yeah. So breathe in fully. Let the navel expand. Then keep breathing into your chest. Let the lungs expand, diaphragm expand. And now breathe out. Breathe out. Let the diaphragm collapse, lungs collapse. Keep breathing out till you can squeeze your navel in, all the way in. Okay, and then continue breathing in. Long deep breath. Fill up your stomach, chest, and lungs. And breathe out. Relax your chest. Squeeze your navel in. And now let's close our eyes and let's do it on our own with full gratitude for the act of life. Breathing. Breathe into your stomach. Observe what happens. Look at the amount of air you can breathe into your stomach. Don't be shy. Breathe in. Keep breathing into your chest, your lungs, and then breathe out. Relax your lungs, relax your diaphragm, and squeeze your navel in. And let's do 5 such full breath in and out at your own pace. You are not in competition with anyone. You are just innocently observing your breath and using it fully to charge your body. Breathe in till you can't breathe anymore. Keep breathing and breathe out. At your own pace, like the waves in the ocean. One wave, breathe in, comes on the sand, plays in the sand. Keep breathing. And breathe out, and then goes back to the ocean. 3 more rounds on your own. Long, deep breath. Welcome the breath with a smile. Even if you have to fake it, have a smile. And breathe out with a smile. Just like you welcome a guest in your home, welcome the guest with a smile. Your breath is a guest. Breathe in. 2 more rounds. Breathe in fully. And breathe out. And the final round with all attention. Breathe in. And let go. And keep your eyes closed. And relax your hands back on the laps, palms facing the ceiling. Keep your eyes closed, spine straight. And relax your breath. Observe the sensations in the body. Relax your body. Long, deep breath in. And let go. Relax your shoulders. Relax your face. Keep your body still. Slowly and gradually, another breath in and let go. And taking your own time, whenever you feel complete, we may gently open the eyes. How was it?
I'm ready for a nap now.
Yeah, I'm supposed to stay awake, but I think I'm going to finish my coffee quickly. Otherwise, I'm going to sleep.
How was the state of your mind? How was the state of your mind?
Very calm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it really, there was a lot in my mind, particularly from this show, because
We
we had
know.
technical difficulties in the beginning and it was just a little bit chaotic and crazy. So this was really helpful to sort of bring things down and really clear my mind.
Yeah, I didn't think about anything, so I was just, following the instruction, not so feeling really free.
That is called meditation practice, is to be free in the mind so that the mind is in the present moment. Now,
Hmm.
now, you are not sleeping. You had elevated yourself to a
No.
state where the thought stream had gone down. So much down that you had one thought like, oh my God, I have no thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now the more you practice this meditative state, which is simple to access through the breath, the more
Mm-hmm.
grounded you will feel. And within
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 days, if you practice this every day, somebody will come and say, hey, wow, you're smiling more today. Because it will bring you back to your nature. You will not be worried too
Mm-hmm.
much. So that is where breath work helps to reconnect with your own nature, which is peace and love and kindness. Yeah, so that is some of the science behind reducing violence as well, right? So violence happens at three levels. The level of action, we send an email and other people get turbulence, that's a violent action.
Mm-hmm.
Violence at the level of the speech, saying something that hurts other people, and that all begins at the level of the thought. So the third level is the violence at the level of the thought.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is why the Indian philosophy of yoga meditation is helping reduce and calm your mind. So when the thought stream is peaceful, the violence through the mouth and the actions will automatically phase out.
Mm-hmm.
You will not, when you are peaceful in your mind, you will not want to hurt other people because
Right.
that is not your nature,
Mm-hmm.
right? Has it happened to you? You speak something to your mom or to your child, and then you say, "Oh my God, I lost it." And then when your mind calms down, you go back to your honey and you say, "Honey, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you." What does it mean? That hurting other people is not your nature. The negative emotion took you away from your nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a regular practice of breath work in your life, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, will help
Mm-hmm.
you to manage your own stress, to manage your own anxiety, and then recharge you. Two things happen, Amire, when you do
Mm-hmm.
breathing exercises. One, you release your stress, negative emotions through the science of the breath that I showed you. Through the breath, you're releasing the negative toxins. And second
Mm-hmm.
thing that happens is you are energizing yourself because the breath is a source of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Maybe at the end of the show, I can teach you one more exercise. That way,
Yeah,
it's
I'm going to have you teach it to us when we do our debrief so that those that are in the Coffee with Rhonda Show tribe, you're going to get a special exercise if you are a member of the Coffee with Rhonda Show tribe. And you can just go to Facebook and type in the Coffee with Rhonda Show tribe and click to join there, and you will get to see all of our behind the scenes conversations that we have with our guests. So, Mandar, thank you so much. This has been a really powerful conversation. Let's just move to wrap up. We are almost out of time. I can't believe this time went so fast, and most of it was me fussing with my audio. So I apologize to everyone out there. Next week we will be better now that Restream has given me some tips on how to better use their platform. So I certainly appreciate that. So as we move to wrap up, we're going to ask the question. So if you are out there, if you did the exercises for breathing, please share how that experience was for you. Also, share what did we put in your cup this episode, right? What is it that you are walking away with and that you're going to take forward with you about leading self first with purpose and with peace? So we're going to come back and do our wrap ups after this. And I would love for all of you to share what's in your cup. What are your key takeaways? You can jot those into the chat. Yep. Okay. So as we move to wrap up, what's in your cup? What are we putting in your cup? So, Mireille, I'm going to come to you first. What are you taking away from today's conversation?
Oh, there's a lot, but I think the key thing is the breath, and the relationship that the breath and the thoughts and your action. This it's a key relationship as a leader, as a human being, and I didn't see it like that. I think I'm gonna make sure that right now, starting today, I pay more attention to my breathing because I've been taking it for granted, basically.
Hmm.
So that's my key takeaway today.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mireille. Regina said, what an effective set of techniques. I will definitely be using them. Michael says, I clear my mind and fall asleep quickly and stay asleep for 7+ hours. There are no worries in my mind because he tends to use, he tends to use this at the
Hmm.
end of his day. Dale Waxman says, taking forward the concept of intentional breathing to help control emotions. Absolutely, Dale. It's really, that was a powerful takeaway for me today as well. And Michael said emotional stress can be reduced, as Mandar suggested, and it works. Absolutely. And so, Mandar, I would love for you to tell us what final thoughts you would love to leave our audience with. I'm also going to share your information here in the chat because you do some amazing work and you teach this. And we have a link here that we're going to share with everyone. So 1 hour module on breath work that you have in meditation techniques. I will put that link for everyone. I'm dropping it in the chat right now. Mandar, please give us your final thoughts for everyone and then tell people how they can connect with you.
Yeah, firstly, I appreciate you and Mireille for doing what you do. This is, just God's work to bring a smile on people's face, to inspire them to be a better leader. We all need to do this in our own way. And what I've realized during this pandemic, that we are hopefully behind, is we have three levels of caring. One is the caring that I need to do for myself. Nobody else can do it for me. The second level of realization for me is, do I care for those who cared for me? Or am I out there? So find out the 5 people that cared for you, or have cared for you, or will care for you no matter what you are, and go back to them and make sure those bonds are reactivated. And the third is, we have to care for the planet, because problem in one part of the world, you cannot be a bystander anymore. It will come to your own doorstep. So whether it's police violence, whether it's a suicide next door or on the campus, whether it's a mass shooting, let us be activated to actively promote peace and non-violence in our own capacity, in our own organization, in our own community. And so that is my humble request to whoever is listening, that see if you can work on these three levels, because life is very short. We don't know when we are going to hit the bucket. So let us collaborate. If you think my module is resonating with you, in the module is a documentary film. I hosted the parents from the Sandy Hook School and Black Lives activists. I hosted them in India for 10 days. And so that documentary story will inspire you. And then the module also has some of my work in Los Angeles, where I did a program to bring healing to mothers and former gang members and at-risk young people and police officers who work in those neighborhoods. And so if I can do this, anybody can do it. We just need to be the change. That's all. That's my humble request. And just keep doing your work. There is no end to this work, Rhonda and Mireille. This is a life worth.
Hmm.
I was inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 6 years ago. I picked up a book in Barnes and Noble, his autobiography. I read his autobiography. He had visited India that I didn't know anything about. He writes about 30 pages in that book about his travel to India. I didn't know anything about this. And so, these are legends that Martin Luther King Jr., the work that they did is not just for their family and their people. They have transcended those boundaries, right? They are beyond boundary of caste and religion, skin color. So let us all have that inspiration also, that we have to follow those footsteps. You have to care for everyone, but start with yourself. So that's the missing link. Often we ignore the the person within me. That's it. It's very simple. Breathing will help, and ice cream also helps. So if you feel stressed, go have an ice cream. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Mandar, you have been just a joy to have on the show. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your wisdom with us, for sharing those techniques. I'm going to take just a few more minutes of your time. We're going to end this stream, and I'm going to ask you to join us in the debrief room so that we can give our backstage tribe a little bit of an insight and an additional breathing technique that you were going to share with us. So go to Facebook, everybody, search for Coffee with Rhonda Show Tribe, and you can join us, and you get to see our after show discussions, which sometimes get very interesting, short and sweet. So thank you, everyone, for being here for for season 7, episode 1 of the Coffee with Rhonda show. We are excited and honored and just joy to continue to bring you great content to help you show up as the best version of yourself. So with that, we will see you back here next week. We've got another great, wonderful, amazing guest that will be joining us. Brett Packard will be the guest next week. He's going to join us as we talk about elite leadership and showing up as that elite leader in your own life, what it means and what it costs you. So we'll see you back here next week, everybody. Until then, continue to lead above the grind. Hey. Woo.